Hi, I'm Mika, leader of an organizational behavior research team, Mika. Did you know that Google employees are probably amongst the happiest employees based on their work environment and conditions that are amongst the best in the world? In there, they probably put the most money into their employees, but they have these big complexes, they have all the food that they want, massage parlors and whatnot. That doesn't necessarily make them among the best, most profitable, and most productive employees. This has been the crux of a profit-enhancing debate in many companies that we will be talking about just soon.
There, of course, are many different company factors that play an important role in this debate. Size, stability, wealth, character, and so on and so forth. Therefore, there is not one side of this debate that can be conclusive for all companies under all different conditions. We cannot assume ceteris paribus condition. We are, however, showing that in general there are opposing opinions in the matter, and we will soon bring those opinions forward for discussion. Since the topic is very wide in range and can be measured by numerous criteria measures, our factor of measurement will focus on money factor and will show that there are opposing sides to the matter of investing money in employees in order to prosper more from their work productivity later on.
We are going to look at two sides of the profitability coin, which, yes, is a figurative, metaphorical coin and not a real one. So we're going to start by showing the most extreme pro, going to the most extreme con, and ask you at the end what you think. We're handing over the mic now to Yael Foreman.
Hey, I'm Yael, and I am going to Skype interview one of the corporate managers from Google who works in Google headquarters of Mountain View, California. I would like to ask you a few questions about work productivity. Could you please elaborate on working conditions versus profitability?
Certainly. There are two main streams of thought when it comes to work environment. One is that we should make our employees as happy as possible, while the other says that we shouldn't worry ourselves with such trivial things. Both believe and have proven that each method can work.
And what do you believe?
Well, isn't it obvious? Clearly, happy employees lead to motivated employees who will work harder and even better.
How so?
Well, we need to realize that the philosophy of "it ain't broke, don't fix it" just doesn't apply to the business world anymore. While people might be content coming in and doing their job in the same boring place over and over and over again, it certainly shows monotonicity to the point of a lack of production. My company believes that my working in a, quote, random place with certain perks will keep the mind thinking in new ways and keep the common worker interested and not just content to come in, but even happy to work as well.
And when you say random and perks, what exactly do you mean?
Well, we decorate the office in bright colors with modern art and designs all over the place to distract the mind. The perks can include anything from a break room to free snacks, fully loaded gyms, on-site cafes, and even birthday massages.
And does this style of workplace have any benefits outside of the obvious ones?
Yes, it does. Thanks to these tactics, Google was ranked first in the American Student Survey in the most attractive place to work. This gives us the best opportunity to get the top prospects in every field that we need. Not only that, but all of our employees know that they work in the highest sought-after jobs in the market and work harder to make themselves more invaluable to the company in order to stay.
As we can see, human happiness has powerful causal effects on labor productivity. Even though happiness obviously has the external factors of family and health, places like Google believe that it can also be achieved simply through the external factors in the work environment. If companies strive to keep their workers happy and satisfied with their job and workplace, then they will be surely performing at their best. A common misconception is that success begets happiness. This simply is not true. There isn't a direct correlation between happiness and success, but rather that happiness comes from an enjoyable workplace, which then causes success from their happiness. Thank you.
take a look at the other side to this debate, which does not necessarily believe in a poor work environment, nor does it believe in reducing costs below minimum expectancy, as is done in, for example, most workshops in China. Rather, it believes that in order to prosper better productivity, there is no need to invest more money than the required wage or salary, raw material, and overhead costs. In the eyes of these companies, this would be an unnecessary loss of money. On this side, we will see that working for the sake of work itself can benefit companies as well. We go live to Shanice Singer.
Thank you, Lior. Team Mika are privileged to have as one of our esteemed team members, Betsy Nyman, who aside from being Assistant Production Manager and Financial Director of Team Mika, has been Regional Production Manager at a family-owned business in America that distributes nationwide. So Betsy, from your experience, do you think that adding niceties to our office environment improves productivity of a business?
I've worked at Zelda's Sweet Shop in Chicago, Illinois for 8 years now, and recently took on the role of Regional Production Manager. While some companies give these work environment enhancing perks to their employees, it's not always applicable or smart for a business to even do so. For a company like ours, it's impractical to have these things in the workspace. I speak from experience, as a few years ago, we tried giving our employees environmental perks by putting in a game room with TV, foosball table, ping pong table. Unfortunately, we found that instead of motivating them to work more, it instead distracted the workers from their job and dropped productivity. Almost all the 40 workers became too attached to the game room and were spending not only their free time there, but also their work time as well. Having to ban them from the game room during work hours didn't help for company morale either.
So, what methods did improve productivity?
But companies such as mine give their workers the benefit of working in the store they work in. By that I mean we work in a bakery, so we always have excess baked goods and chocolates and candy, which we can give to the workers as a thank you for their hard work. We also run off-hour events like company barbecues and end-of-the-month birthday parties for employees that have birthdays during that month. And it became clear that the reward systems and events were far more effective and resulted in better productivity than providing the so-called office enhancements and luxuries. Each company does what it can for its employees. A company like Facebook or Google can only demand maintenance and project due dates, while mine demands daily and by-the-moment projects and attention. Therefore, Facebook can have these perks, which won't take away from their workers' productivity, since they don't have customers coming in and out of their storefront. They don't have to make orders constantly, and they don't have to send these orders out the door and make delivery times. These additions would not only take away from our productivity, but would undoubtedly send us into the red.
So another example is shown through research that was conducted between 1927 and 1932. It was done by a professor named Alton Mayo, and he was from the Harvard Business School, and he examined the connection between how productive people are and also like how the work conditions are going to influence that. So what he did is he separated 6 workers at an electric works company in Chicago, and he let them work apart from the remaining of the workers. So for several years they were separated from the remaining, and they got a little bit different work conditions as the rest of the group. They had more breaks, free lunch, and also earlier finishing times. So I'm going to read the results to you, what they found, what would happen. So if they would give them 2 5-minute rest pauses, the output went up. So then they lengthened the rest of the pauses to 10 minutes, and it went up sharply. So 6 5-minute pauses were introduced, and output fell first time. When they started to supply a hot meal free of charge, output went up too. And then they started dismissing them earlier. First of all, they dismissed them at 4:30 instead of 5, so output went up. And then they dismissed them in half an hour even earlier, so at 4, and output remained the same though.
At the end of the 5-year period, the workers' working conditions reverted back to the conditions before the experiment began. Unexpectedly, the workers' morale and productivity rose to levels higher than before and during the experiments. The combination of results during and after the experiment, in other words, increase in the workers' productivity when they were returned to their original working conditions, led Mayo to conclude that workers were motivated by psychological conditions more than physical working condition. Not free food and good work conditions motivated them. Was that good?
That was fantastic, Yoda. Thank you very much.
Okay, wait.
There we go.
Wait. Wasn't it? Ready? No.
It's still rolling.
There was a group responsible, recognized, and therefore more profitable. When should the companies invest in creating the possibly best work conditions, making life all enjoyable for the employees if that doesn't improve the actual work? In the end, a person gets more satisfaction from achieving something through their work rather than feeling good while working.
To conclude, there is no fine-cut answer to our question. As we saw from Mr. Nyman's company, often improving work environments can in fact be unhelpful towards the productivity of a business and even counterintuitive. On the other hand, we saw from Google that such office improvements can in fact make all the difference in improving bottom line productivity. So you can see, having delved into the matter that is a very subjective question, in some cases, some things work, and in other cases, alternative moderations of encouraging factors work better. And now, I hand it over to you, the viewers, to tell us what you think.